Good day, everybody. My name is Dr. Francois Tessier. I am the CEO of the Center for Complementary Therapies and Pain Management in Sri Lanka. Welcome to this series of Zoom interview where you discover the most amazing doctors, therapists, philosophers, artists, shaman, healers, etc. that are practicing all sorts of complementary therapies worldwide. And in their own way, they enlighten us with their wisdom, and their journey help us to understand the world differently. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Mrs. Hasu Patel. She is a sitarist, an educator, a composer. She is from India, and she lives in the United States. Mrs. Hasu Patel is one of the very few female Indian classical music sitar performer in the world. She dedicates her life to preserve the traditional music of ancient India. Her playing is finely nuanced and very expressive. She is a performer, of course, but also a composer and an educator. Her instrument is the sitar, the most popular string instrument of India. Mrs. Patel plays her instrument in a very special style known as Gayaki Ang vocal style, where the sitar represents the fluidity and the subtle nuances of the human voice. The innovative techniques which she is credited to her guru, the sitar legend, Ustad Vilayat Khan Sahib, I'm not sure I pronounce it correctly, the most significant contribution in her music inheritance. She has dedicated her life on preserving and propagating this purity, the fascinating and highly evolved classical music of ancient India. Well, Mrs. Patel, you have a very diverse history, very diverse curriculum, so it is very difficult to introduce you. So I will simply welcome you and thank you for accepting our invitation. Namaste.
Namaste, Doctor. Good morning. Here.
Good morning and good evening.
My name is Hasu Patel, and I live in the United States for most of my life.
Oh.
More than 4 decades.
Yes. So
I came as a young here, but my journey starts in India, in a city called Baroda.
Oh.
It's a very educational city, politically very rich city, where I was trained and as a sitar player. But my father was the most instrumental person in my life, because he was a physician, doctor by himself, but he wanted his children to learn music so they can be humble and serve the world. That was his dream. And we got a very rigorous training there for 15 years, 6 to 8 hours a day. I studied with my first guru. He was blind, and his name was Mr. Kikani. And I didn't know how to play. I was only 6 years old, and he told me, just copy me, how I hold the sitar, how I play. And he taught me the voice, he taught me the music, the sitar, through his voice. So voice was instilled in me since my young age. And when I became older, in the middle of my life, Ustad Khan Sahib came in my life, and where he groomed me, he polished me for a fine Gayaki Ang, which is a vocal style. My journey is not that easy. In my time, around 40 years ago, when a woman plays the sitar, it's not, or any music, it was not welcome.
Why?
So there were more obstacles.
What is the reason of that?
Because I'm a woman, I was a girl.
Why? I don't understand why women could not play the sitar. Why women was not allowed? What is the reason?
Why is the question for me and you both today also? But it happened.
Oh.
It happened. So I defied all the laws of the society, practice in a shadow, practice in a without making any telling anybody that what I'm doing, in like as if I'm not accepted or I'm not welcome, and in a fear I practice. But to me, the divine power, the music, is a language of universal language of God. And God Himself creates this thing, gives you the power to do that thing. And it was my inner voice told me to keep playing no matter what happens.
Oh.
So I came there. I had a degrees in, with the age of 20, I had a master's degree in music and economics and statistics and everything. So I came at the age of 20. After the age of 20, I came into the United States. And I was looking for a window of opportunity, but I was in a very small town in America. So there was no window, but I kept playing. Slowly, God opened the window. I came to here in Cleveland, Ohio, and where one of the Western students came in my life, and he told me to just go and teach in the Oberlin College of Ohio. I started with the one student, and I taught there for 20 years, part-time. But in meantime, on music, you cannot survive. I had 2 children to raise.
Mm.
So I went to college back here in 80s, where no woman or man will think about it. I took a master's degree in computer science and accounting, dual degree.
Again?
And I didn't like...
Again, as a woman, you were not supposed to do that, and you did, right?
Yes, I did it for my children, and I did it for my own inner voice that I should study. And then I worked full-time as a program analyst for 30 years, still raising the kids, still playing the music. And then slowly, the schools and colleges called me, not as a big way, but sporadically. And I went there, did my concerts and workshops, and that's where my whole life was built up to teach music everywhere. Then ashram life came, and ashram people called me in 2002. I didn't know anybody, but they called me and said, you have to come to Montreal for 3 days. And I said, what am I going to do with 3 days? Driving is 1 day, coming back is 1 day, and 1 day to stay there is too much for my body, and it's not spiritually rich. But I did it, and since then I'm attached with the ashram where I teach more spiritual music, because spirituality enhances the human spirit. And the and spirituality, they go together. We cannot separate it out. And music has no religion, race, or gender. And what happened with this kind of philosophy, and I'm very person of the very less word I won't say about me, my words will tell you, or my work will tell you. So what happened, that affected my thoughts, emotions, and my subconscious mind, where I got the inspiration to compose more music. And I composed more music in a California ashram.
Oh.
Yoga farm, Sivananda Yoga farm. There is a Radha Krishna temple. So after the brunch in the morning, I'll take a pencil and a paper. Nothing, no recording, nothing. Just me and my pencil and a paper. And I started composing. I composed around 100 compositions, a new one, not the old one, new one. I composed 3 sitar concertos in the yoga farm.
Wow.
And that is like a spiritual place.